Splice for their opponent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And I think Splice, thus far, has kind of checked all the boxes you can ask. And I'm really excited to see how well they can perform here against FunPlus, because if you take down them, then really, Splice could easily be taking top of the table in this group. And I think that is a very exciting prospect for all of the LEC fans.
Stop selling my LMS boys J Team short, man. No way are they the favorites if they win this game. However,
let's mute these bad boys. Why do people keep giving Vichichachi Gangplank? Why? Why do you do this? Why do you do this? It's a big no-no in my book. It's a big no-no in my book. Vichichachi is so weak on everything else. Well, he's not weak on everything else, it's just that everything that he plays happens to be weak. You want to pick Poppy? You know, fucking just put him on a Poppy. It's fucking worth it, the GP ban. Does Nautilus ban? Have you seen Noshkrin's performances on Nautilus? He's fucking happy to see this ban because honestly he's been running it down. A lot of these Nautilus players have been running it down, and Noshkrin is definitely one of them. So let's take a look. I know this. I know a bit about the game. Renekton peek into GP. That's so unexciting. If that's your counter into GP, you know, just fucking step away from it. This is a Vladimir Lokin. Gimgoon is a person that hasn't played too many champions, but I just don't like it. I don't like it. If this is your answer into GP, then it's not worth it. You know, the day you give Vichichachi Gangplank, it has to be for a good goddamn reason. And that has to be like, oh, our top laner plays the best, is the best Vladimir in the world. Boom. Very worth it. Renekton, play Rise top. I like. That could be something. Rise is like baby Vladimir. Scales good in the matchup, can dive GP eventually. But Renekton, it's like, you have Lee Sin as well. Lee Sin, Renekton, don't like it. Bleh. Leona into Thresh, disgusting. Why would you pick Leona into Thresh? So here, if you ban Nautilus, let enemy pick Thresh, and Blitzcrank Alistair is out. Second wave ban. Very good bans here from Splice, so I like their draft. Good draft. They pick the Gragas as the GP, take GP away from Gimgoon. Thresh third into 2 bans with Nautilus out. Very smart draft here from Splice, honestly. Very good. Tristana still doesn't reveal any cards, can be played into what's it called, Kai'Sa. They can't counter it anyway, and boom, there's the Vega lock-in. Vega has been buffed on the E-Cage, and I saw some highlight from LoL Esports where Kobe put some insane freaking cages. So let's pay attention to those. But here, I think definitely they have the better draft. I saw Doomby played Exos into Tristana, which is interesting, but I think Tristana wins into Rise. Rise, like Gragas as well, you've heard my opinion if you watch any of the other videos. He's a monster. If you see it for the first time, one of my reviews, Gragas, I think, is dirty OP. I love the draft here from Splice. Very good draft. Very Splice-esque draft, and FPX let them have it. I really liked the Scion Hover, spitting on Doinby. Nevertheless, let's put myself in the corner there. We are recording. Captain America looking like he's ready to play. I think Humanoid looks like Captain America, so that's a running joke in the Meddi household. Okay, what is this Rise skin? The fuck? Is this the Challenger Rise? Or whatever it's called? Championship Rise? I don't know what it's called. LPL first seed FPX. FPX played disgustingly. Honestly, they didn't play that bad. Their draft was pretty awful. And it was an FPX classic draft that sometimes worked. FPX knew how to find timings with the Scion, and they pry on the idea that the enemy doesn't know how to deal with it. But LWX was running it down. Let's see if this trend continues today. If LWX continues to run it down today, then just, you know, we're giving up on FPX completely. I'm not a fan of W start on Rise, but to each their own. Vichichachi taking some punishment, but he has 3 potions. So this is a fine trade. He procced his... No, Chachi. No. This is not allowed. Not allowed. Here, with GP, Early Qs never ever lasted creeps. Right here, this was a grass proc. Boom, right into Gimgoon's face. Can change the course of this lane. Big mistake. Don't you dare fucking ever Q for last hits. Tian solo starred blue. That's pretty cocktail. I don't like it. Many solo blue stars this tournament because they want to path into bots or whatever. I don't like it. Xerxes now has a big advantage now. He's gonna take his second camp. He got leash on bottom, I assume, because Splice bot lane getting prio against Kaisa is pretty fucking difficult, honestly, because Veigar early levels is pretty fucking useless. You all know that. He doesn't have a keystone. He doesn't have any spells. Good trade here onto Crisp, gets chunked, the W lands. Good stuff. Kobe skilling W second. Does a lot of damage level 1, honestly. The 100 base damage and skills 1-to-1 with AP. That's monstrous for a spell. Chachi Wachi. Whoa, Gimgoon. Gimgoon. Bichiwachi on his special pick dies, but we got a 1-for-1 and Gragas gets a kill. Gragas is very happy. Gimgoon used flash. Gimgoon's gonna walk into top lane because his wave is pushing. Chachi doesn't have a freeze on top and he's also out attacking minions. Like, does he have a freeze as a cannon? He has a cannon, so as a cannon, this is maybe cause for TP, but I guess he's afraid of Xerxes because Xerxes could stay in the weeds. He's gonna wait, and here's the aggressive play. Humanoid, that's the TP from Gimgoon. Flash away from Xerxes. Maybe he was fine if he didn't flash, he just could E away. It's not like Renekton was gonna commit or connect with him. So big 2v2 win here. Gimgoon, the timing of his play here is quite rough because you know bot lane leashed, enemy bot lane leashed, so Gragas is gonna be here always. So Gimgoon dies, and then the wave is frozen here. That's why GP is TPing. And usually a lot of top lanes will also TP onto top to break the freeze, but he's afraid of Gragas here. Gragas shows, so he's TPing now onto the fight, but Xerxes could just get out with an E, so all good. Bot lane seems to be fine as well for Splice. LWX is chunked to fuck, so Splice bot lane are delivering. Noshkiren on Thresh seems to be something he's more successful on than Nautilus. So this draft was wonderful from Splice. The fact that they managed to secure such a bot lane matchup is very good for them. On 6, FPX might have some windows, but Splice could also play Lantern. They can Lantern away from the Leona ult, so if they have quick fingers here, then things could get nasty. So this dive will be interesting. They're going for Tian. Hook lands. Oh! Wow. I got possessed by Skrillex. Because this dive, look at that. Boom. EA Sports. I mean, E of Gragas. Right into the Veigar E. Boom. Beautiful. Game-winning play. Splice with the proactivity. Boom. 3 assists on Kobe as well. Almost a full amplifying tome. Juicy stop here from Splice. Good dive. Prio from Tristana. Went for it. Rise base late. Tristana pushed on wave in on mid because she respawned and then she went into bot with that prio. Xerxes was on point. Everything was wonderful. Kobe with the TP on top. Maybe this was a bit too much. Because here, Chachi looks pretty fine. He has oranges. He's gonna orange up the next stun. Dobby doesn't have a lot of damage. Chachi can't get Dove here. Like, look at the items of Rise and Renekton. He has a biscuit. He has a fucking, what's it called? A citrus fruit. Kobe doesn't need to TP, but he's doing it for his buddy. He's gonna miss some CS on bottom, possibly a wave, maybe 9 CS. It looks like a 9 CS loss here. Kobe is gonna walk with his short legs. Boom! Look at that, man. Deliver me from evil. Xerxes with the body slam into the Veigar E. Great placement on the Veigar E there. That's nasty. It's hard to get away from right there. Hard to get away from. Humanoid, because Rise dove onto top, pushed onto mid and got a couple of platings. One plating, not a couple. Unless he's in a relationship with himself. This single plating that we're talking about. Chachi with the GP ult on top. You know, if you GP ulted, then walk away. Why are you GP ulting and just looking at it? This is the move that I like to call cinema. When teams know they can't contest the Drake, so they just look over the mountain that is next to Dragon, you know? They're like, they did Drake, let's walk away. When in reality, when enemy is doing Dragon, you can walk away, you can get some tempo, you can maybe push some waves, you can maybe take enemy jungle, you can get some deep vision, you can get busy. But instead you watch cinema because, oh, enemy is doing Drake. Okay, we're gonna stand here, we know we can't fight, we know we can't contest, we know we can't steal, but we're gonna stand there and look. Here is the same. Chachi this is not cinema, but this is like watching Netflix, okay? This is a minor version of that. Chachi is going to ult the wave because he knows he's not safe. He knows he's not safe. He knows he's not safe because of Lee or because of Renekton. He's just not safe. And he decides to ult the wave and then, you know, look at cinema. Luckily here, he has a biscuit, so he drinks the biscuit. Here, he eats the biscuit, so he has mana right away. The biscuit comes, so he can eat citrus fruits and maybe he gets away. Okay. That's why we call it a Netflix move instead of watching cinema, because watching cinema is more grandiose, it's more major than what just happened here. So it's not too bad. It's just hilarious. He's gonna GP ult the wave and then he's gonna look at it. Yeah, I'm ulting the wave. Yeah, look at those cannons. Those are mine. Splice hovering into bottom side. Lee Sin is recovering. Let's take a look here. Doinbi has double summoners up. Splice through mid lane are taking over bottom because Lee Sin showed on top wave. So this is a good proactive play to punish. GP, the fact that he got away from this and Lee Sin showed, honestly makes his play even genius. I was saying that he's watching Netflix and shit, but Lee Sin showing and not getting the kill there because they get debated by the crab. I mean, not the crab, but by the cookie. I guess I was thinking crab cakes. By the biscuit that Vichichachi had. He ate the biscuit, got the mana back, and he had a W up, and then he could get away from the gank. Lee Sin showed, which meant Tristana, and Gragas had free passage into bot lane, and then they're losing so much off of this. So Chachi is a genius. He's a genius. He wanted to bait the gank, knew he would survive, and boom. Chachi is just next level. Sorry for the disrespect, Chachi. The water donkey. Boom. The Tristana exhaust does absolutely nothing. All good humanoid. You got a good chunk off and you pressure them to bottom with your squad. Doinbi on Rise is a thing of beauty because he always buys different items. God bless him. Humanoid with 2 platings is ahead on gold in comparison to everyone. He also has the kill, 3 assists on Kobe, and Doinbi is keeping everyone in check with this assist and these CS numbers. That's why he's so close on the total gold bar. I wish Riot used experience more as a statistic because XP is a lot of gold, and if someone's ahead on XP, that means a lot. Doinbi is probably the Rise that uses the Rise ultimate the best out of anyone. You can see humanoid here, he's gonna hover into bottom side, Doinbi sees it, and boom, Doinbi sees it as an opportunity to roam. Doinbi with the roaming powers, we saw this in the Sion game, right away, Lee Sin is on the red buff, Splice are giving GP over to the enemy team. As the trade here for the Ocean Drake, full complete domination on bottom side by Splice after that initial Lee Sin showing on top. Chachi is gonna die here, the Water Donkey is gonna be dead. But this is a trade that Splice are very well aware of. They have the Ocean Drake, they're gonna hit the bottom tower, and Gragas is gonna make sure that the enemy has to give up. Splice here are looking like they're gonna get first tower. They do have 2 very weak champions hitting, so maybe this is gonna be the difference maker. It's not like Veigar and Thresh has some monster damage. Also with Rise showing on top wave means that Tristana can hit away for free. They can threaten dive already with 3 people because they can easily one-shot the Kai'Sa with no flash. Super easy. Veigar ult, Gragas damage. Tristana was hitting mid this entire time. She got platings. Splice got platings bottom first tower as well. This is very good for Splice. FPX realizing that their bottom after that initial dive is just completely doomed. They're giving up on it. The matchup was shit in the first place. Splice making some good moves. Once again, I think GP is so fundamentally important for Splice because other champions are not going to deal with this playstyle as well. The GP ult can delay plays. GP is very strong early, can get prior early, can contest very well. It's going to scale into the game regardless. Even if GP only has his ultimate and just does nothing, that's good enough presence in team fight to make him worth it. So Chachi is such a like GP is such a perfect champion for Splice. And on top of that, Splice are playing wonderfully this early game. Wonderful. They see the opportunities. Whenever FPX is roaming, the answer in kind, the pressure into bottom, the dive was great. Threatening the dive was great. 3 times the threatened dive, and LWX is paying for it. He's behind now. Veigar is transitioning into a mid game that is going to be wonderful for him. No one's going to buy MR. Ryze is going to be a target for that ultimate. Tristana and Veigar can burst targets together. This is looking like a great game here for Splice. Obviously, I already know the result, but for the people that are watching the games for the first time on my channel, I'm not going to spoil it. Unless I spoiled it in the intro already, then, you know, sucks. Just blows. Nevertheless, we continue. Gimgoon, not gonna dive GP. GP is gonna farm away. It's gonna be cool. Ryze and Lee Sin are hovering onto GP side. Chachi is giving up properly. Chachi has been the victim of many ganks throughout the year, but he is an easy target to go for because he dies so often. So let's see now if Chachi continues to die or if he gives up. This is looking good. This looks like a dead Tristana. Imagine getting hit by Leona E as Tristana. Let's see what he exhausted. He exhausted Doinby after his combo because he's not in range before. Doinby walks in range, but Doinby doesn't give a shit. So this is a wasted exhaust. Humanoid plays it. You know, getting hit by Leona E is just tragic. You can buffer your W, you know, as the E goes. Humanoidovic. Just disastrous. Splice once again trading sides, but Renekton getting this lead is not going to matter at all. Of course it's going to matter to some degree, but Veigar getting ahead and Kai'Sa being behind, GP being behind, it's a good trade for Splice. Right now Kobe is in a really good state, and Humanoid is also in good state because he got platings on mid, so his gold disparity here is non-existent. Let's take a look at the list here. Humanoid, okay, he's 500 gold behind. I lied. Doinby shared some platings on side. I lied. I'm okay with being wrong, no problem. Kobe is first on gold though. Chachi is very behind Gimgoon on gold, but that's only natural. Chachi, when he's level 11, his ult's going to be powerful. When he reaches Trinded Force, he's going to be able to clear waves. Renekton will not pressure him on side. Maybe Ryze will pressure him on side. Maybe that's the way. With the Righteous Glory build, he can run after him. And then with Phase Rush, he can get away from GP ult and he can pressure. Maybe this is the play here for of course, Doinby. But he has no TP. So no TP Ryze means no party Ryze. Chachi is going to be bottom, clearing waves against Renekton and be very happy with it. Humanoid now pushing in. Splice is playing a 3-1 where they're pushing mids and then they're hovering into bottom side. Humanoid has no TP here. He's quite in danger, honestly. Now he spots Lee Sin. Now he's not in danger anymore. He doesn't see Leona. He backs off after clearing the wave. And now Kobe is walking onto mid wave. They need to make sure here that they walk together. It's important that Veigar hovers behind Thresh here while they're taking vision because they can't take any risks here. No one will spot it, and if, for example, FPX is stacking on Bush here, things could go very wrong. But they're playing on the fact that Ryze is top and GP has no TP, so this is maybe the information they're playing with. Splice managed to put wards down anyway. Kobe didn't need to hover. FPX was playing it quite safe, which is natural sometimes when your mid laner is top with no TP and GP is TP top. And here, wonderful interaction here. Look at Kobe placing the E, knows that he cannot get hit because Leona is not going through the Veigar E. The Lantern also lands. Kobe is very safe in this game. It's very hard to reach him. Very difficult to play Ryze against Veigar because the cage is very monstrous. And here with people being stuck in the Veigar cage, with Gragas ultimate as a barrel, as a connector, so to speak. Boom, the barrel lands inside of the Veigar ult, everyone scatters, everyone's gonna reach one of those Veigar walls. So this is a very nasty combo that we might see in the future of the game. So the center here of the ring is never safe. They need to be always on the outside of the ring. But here, a Lantern's on cooldown. Veigar takes it. Okay, Lantern's not on cooldown. I wonder how many points our dear YamatoCannon has in the Lantern here. But enough to have it up already. Lantern lands on Veigar. Gragas E's out, and this is completely safe. YamatoCannon gets hit by Lee Sin Q because he wants to stand and hook. And this is terrible. YamatoCannon is very low, uses stopwatch. He gets kicked in the forehead. Boom, that's the deadly combination. Veigar already stunned. Maybe the Gragas ult could come earlier because honestly Lee Sin is stunned here. Mercury gets him out. Here, right away, Gragunia ult could be earlier. Gragas, I think Mercury is on here for Lee. That's why he gets out. And Renekton has Ninja Tabi, and that's why he doesn't. Let's take a look. Yeah, Mercury on Lee. That's why he gets out. Zerxie kind of ulted right away, but I think he maybe could preemptively ult, and then it would have been better. Everyone gets out, and then YamatoCannon goes for the hook. This is unnecessary. Just play on cooldowns, play on Veigar poke, play on Gragas E. All is good. They can play on range. But YamatoCannon dies here, and then boom, wonderful cage, and the lack of proper boots in this situation. Renekton gets killed and forgotten very quickly. Splice in very good state because off of this kill they managed to get mid tower. Very important. Mid tower gone means that they have more space to play with, and enemy can't get away from any shenanigans with Glacial Augment. You need space to get away from Glacial Augment, only natural. GP Renekton matchup, we're not going to talk about it any further because it's honestly non-existent in this game. You can see that Chachi managed to get a massive CS lead while Gimgun was in mid lane because Chachi did not participate. So this is important to notice. Chachi didn't need to participate. He just used GP ult and then he pushed, managed to get Trinity Force. VG Chachi is in a wonderful state right now. Wonderful state. Doinbi now should win side with these items, should win against Tristana. It's all about the jungle interaction, and Splice should just play 3-1, 1-3-1. They push mid, hover into top, make sure that Tristana is safe. Of course, FPX are going to look for opportunities like this because Tian and Doinbi are very good at cooperating, full vision control, and then Ryze ult comes in, and then boom, that's a kill. Tian with a very clean Lee Sin performance so far. I like it. Doinbi wants to fight. Doinbi should not want to fight because your top laner doesn't have TP and Kaiser's out of position, but this seems to work so far. Humanoid got one-shotted and Tian and Doinbi are very healthy. On top of that, Doinbi is quite tanky, he doesn't take any damage, and he also has domination. So this is working. Doinbi wants to fight. Doinbi wants to fight. Tian will survive, and Chachi with the flank T Peru is left in Zimbabwe. But the Lantern brings him back. That was a first-class flight provided by YamatoCannon. Okay. Good call here from Doinbi that he wants to continue to fight. I was a bit scared, a bit worried, but it worked because, of course, Tristana got one-shotted here. Doinbi is monster fed, and Humanoid, his management of how he wants to use side is a big problem and is the big reason why FPX is relatively even in this game. So the big thing here is Splice need to push side, hover into Humanoid side, and Doinbi is just monster fed. Look at him, he's so fucking fed already. He's fucking 50 CS ahead as we roll this clip. 40 CS. So big points here. Splice 4 through mid into top side. Need to make sure that Tristana farms, otherwise she's going to be a dog shitter for the rest of the game. FPX, right now, all that advantage that was accrued onto the Veigar is kind of nullified. FPX need to continue to play through side. Mid lane, they're not going to get a prio. Splice just need to make sure that they push through mid. They have the Yordle comp going. All is good. Tristana, we have the Veigar. Beautiful stuff. Splice now in good position for this. Renekton on the flank. I like Splice's odds here, but it's important that they kite in the direction of Veigar. Veigar, if he can kite into this space. Here, what I'm painting here is very good because you can't get past here. A lot of these champions need to get past the cage of Veigar, and Veigar, the way Kobe is going to place the stun is going to be fundamentally important for how well Splice can teamfight. Splice can control a lot of space in teamfights. It's important that they don't force first, they make the enemy force. And as long as they don't get one-shotted by like a Leona ult into a Ryze combo, then all is good. If Lee Sin is on the flank or Renekton's on the flank, that might be difficult because all of a sudden they can have access. But if Splice can kite in one direction always, Veigar E stops any advancement of the enemy. Boom. Because all of these champions are relatively low range, they rely on dashes, they don't have any blinks. And with this being said, they will always kind of get, you know, zoned out by a lot of these spells. As long as Lee Sin is not in this space and Splice know what kind of area they're playing with, for example, in this position, FPX are coming right at them. This E is such a massive zoning tool. Leona tries to find a flank, but Tian just walks in straight to a barrel. Boom, gets barreled, gets hooked, gets blown up because the Veigar ult flies and Veigar ult explodes. Crisp tries to come in, GP is kind of caught off guard, but all is good. He has his lemons. Lemons get eaten, boom, lemon, walk away. The Veigar E comes down again. The Veigar E cooldown is nuts. Look, the Veigar E is finished now, and boom, Veigar E. Okay, that's a box. Sorry. It looks exactly the fucking same. They're purple and they're a hexagon or a pentagon. It looks the same. Sorry. So it's the box. The box, another zoning tool. GP barrels, another zoning tool. Gragas Q, another zoning tool. They can control a lot of zones, but if they commit first, not so much. So you can see here, FPX tried to commit, tried to face check, but the fact that Noshkeren lands this beautiful hook onto Tian is what starts this fight in a beautiful way. The Gragas, the Veigar E denies all access, and here Chachi gets away. Gimgun tries to flash in, but Tristana ults him out right away. Beautiful stuff. Flash into Blade of the Ruined Kingdoms. Gimgun's gonna fall. Here, if Humanoid got one or more auto off, he would have a reset on W and it would have been a bit more clean. Kobe is getting more and more fed. He's getting passively 2 + 4 × 5. 30 AP from kills alone. Takedowns is the word. Takedowns alone, CS. I don't know what the averages are for a good Veigar player. But Kobe, this is not the first time he plays Veigar, so this is pretty clean. Very important flash here because this Q would bounce and hurt. Maybe Doinby could do more, but after Splice kited into the space, that was the space where FPX had no vision. It was very beautiful for them. Doinby now, trying to find space. Crisp now playing away from LWX from mid lane, playing 3-1-1. I respect it, I like it. Splice, just because they have the mid prio, they can play a tighter game, a bit more patient game, because FPX need to find opportunities when enemy fucks up. They need to find catches, they need to find ways to kind of cut Splice rotation into top lane and deny Tristana as much farm as possible, and make sure that she's as useless as possible. I don't know if Zhonya is correct here. I don't like the Zhonya buy from Kobe. I think Fidish Codex into Deathcap is definitely the way. Deathcap is just too cost efficient on Veigar because you have so much AP in your kit, and then the AP scalings are nuts as well. So if you have a Deathcap, game is over. Honestly, you can one-shot anyone you want, and all is good. Gimgun is in a very bad state. As you can see, he transitioned into a fucking Spectre's Cowl, and he's gonna buy a Spirit Visage now. So Richie Chachi, you know, with all that effort FPX put into snowballing top and giving up bottom, it was a complete waste of time. So here, FPX decision making and drafting really showed through in this game, because playing for Kaiser Leona is rough, but you kind of had to. But playing into Kaiser Leona against Thresh Veigar is so fucking difficult. Trying to gank with Lee, Kaiser, Leona, Veigar, and Thresh, and if Gragas is around, you have absolutely no chance. So FPX draft, god awful. 2 games, really didn't like it. First game, I was like, I'm gonna give FPX the benefit of the doubt because it's an FPX comp and they like some of these classic champions. They relied on LWX to play good, and he just fucking didn't deliver, because even in that game, honestly, if LWX doesn't int, I think that game they win against J-Team. And J-Team got very overhyped and they lost against Gigabyte Marines today. But happens. It's only the second day of groups, or the third day even. It's the third day, I think. Is it the third day? Yeah, it's the third day, for sure. Tomorrow is break day for Team Liquid group. Okay. FPX still looking for opportunities where they can find kills on the top side. They just need to find picks over and over with this Rise ult onto the barrel. This is dangerous. Doinby, his neck gets cracked. Does he flash out? He flashes out. He flashes out. Kobe is in deep. Very important here that Splice don't get too greedy in their approach, because Gragas and Tristana are not nowhere to be found. FPX tried to find the catch because Tristana showed on top wave. So here, Tian, boom, they cage, but look at Crisp, he gets the flash and the root is on. Veigar, stopwatch is very late, and Kobe dies. Kobe dies, and he has no flash on, and FPX get away, they get a kill. Kobe has TP. I don't think FPX is going to get much more off of this because the wave clear is fantastic here on Splice. A lot of good range, a lot of good abilities. Splice can delay, and this kill on Kobe is not game-changing just yet. FPX take enemy blue. This Doinby is monster-fed, but he doesn't have that much damage in his kits because of the build that he went for. He's quite tanky, quite durable. You can see the Kobe burst didn't do enough damage there. Kobe's buying his death cap now. Honestly, I don't like the Zhonya's at all. If you're gonna Zhonya's, you're gonna probably die anyway. Just fucking get death cap, get void staff, one-shot anyone on enemy team. It's very important. 4 item core should always, most of the time be death cap and void staff, and then 2 whatever items you want to choose depending on the game. Luna's Echo, or in this case, he has Glacial Augment. There's just a general rule of thumb for APs. If you're ending the game, unless you're a bruiser, like if you're playing Lichbane champions like Fizz or Echo, this rule doesn't apply. But when you're playing a mage, most of the time, if you don't have Death Cap Void Step by the time you have 4 items, you're just not going to be fucking useful. Honestly, it's just not going to be useful unless you hard outscale the enemy. Then it's fine to buy defensive items to survive initial burst. But if you need to buy like Zhonya, Banshee to fucking survive, it means your champion is just fucking useless in the first place. In this case, Veigar doesn't need Zhonya at all. He has the Lantern, he has Mikael's. If everyone's in position... Wait. Yo, use your fucking Mikael's, man. He trusted you. Mikael's not being used. Mikael's not being used. Lantern. Oh. Is this how you repay my love? Have you guys watched Vikings? When Ragnar Lothbrok gets betrayed by his own brother? Spoiler alert. Usually people put spoiler alerts in front of the spoiler. I put it at the end. That's how we do it in the Mebdi household. Okay. Tian getting chunkarooed. All good, all good. Boom, bang. Tian doesn't have any extra armor. He has Mercury. Saved him earlier, so God bless him for that purchase. Mercury is quite good against enemy team. A lot of CC, a lot of slows, a lot of nasty things to deal with. Splice are doing Nasher. We can see it because for some reason, you know, if you look sometimes on Baron, you know, Riot Games is a small indie company. If you look at Nash sometimes in-game, you can see like the little sparks of imagination that help you imagine what the enemy team is doing. Oh, they're on Nash. Oh, okay. Sometimes you see this, and even in a regular game, you can play fucking ranked and you see this shit. That's like fucked up, I think. And it's something that is rarely spoken about. Like, I remember this bug where you got like, when Malphite E's, there's like a mark of his fist on the ground. I was like, what the fuck? I remember when people were playing Malphite Jungle for the first time, he like E's, and then there's like the Riot logo. Toxic masculinity on the ground, you know? And you could see where he jungled. It's like, oh, okay. He's E'd on the ground here on the Raptors. We can see him. And here, you know, what we saw here in Spectate, sometimes you see this in-game as well, and it's fucking ridiculous. It's really nuts. And I don't think it's being spoken about enough. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool and all. So the more item Vegas gets, the better this is going to be. Game Goon didn't decide to get a finished Spirit Visage, so God bless him. That would be disastrous. He's going for a Spear of Sojin. 2 items which Renekton wouldn't exist without. Black Cleaver and Spear of Sojin. There's a crab ready here. Splice, your Nash is not that fantastic. You don't have someone that can dedicate his life to tanking. You have a Gragas. An issue that a lot of teams face here. They're picking Gragas or junglers in general that can't tank, and they don't know how to deal with it. Face checking and tanking seems to be non-existent in the current meta. It makes it very difficult to play. As soon as you see team compositions with tanks, you're like, ooh, they can do so much. They can do so much. Nash is so easy to kill. They can face check bushes and shit. It's very rare nowadays. We saw Wunder play a tank. We saw, what's his name? Doinby play a tank. Is this a Banshee buy for Ryze? Not sure if I'm a fan of this Ryze build. Where is it going? When do you get a Void Staff? When do you get a Death Cap? When do you get like real damage? But yeah, you can see his Q do fucking 830 to the crab there anyway with these cocktail items. So Ryze is just a scaling monster. So cheers to him. Renekton pushing bottom. Splice is being spotted by the crab and the wards. Here FPX is hiding on vision. The Glacial Augment is going to catch Crisp. Let's see if they get to him. Crisp. Crisp. So Ryze couldn't have been any better. He would have fucking died himself if he tried to ult any differently there. So it's a good attempt. Okay, Splice. Splice do a lot of damage. You know, this Kobe is doing like almost 1k with every W on this Nash. Okay, so they stop doing damage. Let's slow down. 0.50. 0.75. Tian is in the pit. Just kill him. Just kill him. Oh. 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 Well, the kick. Wow. So let's think about this for a second. So Crisp died. Game Goon is bot. This is why they're forcing Nash. In the pit, there is a crab. Lee Sin gets vision with the Q. They continue to hit. Kobe is using spells. Kobe W, Kobe Q. Kobe is not queuing. Here, if Splice burst together, Veigar W with Smite, how can you lose? Or just here, put a ward. You see Lee. You have so many tools to push him away. Gragas, Tristana. Like you can just fucking. Oh, he W'd in. He W'd in right now. Fucking Tristana ult that kid. Like why is Humanoid outside of the pit anyway? Like here, why are they going outside of the pit? Just fucking kick him out, man. You had so many tools to kick him out. He's also constantly showing on this ward here. Rough play, rough play. It's a rough way to go, man. Because it's a correct call to go Nash. They have a lot of tools to kick Lee out. They just need to make a calm and collected call here. Because they have good ways to burst it too. A lot of good ways to burst it. LWX didn't need to do much this game. This was a Doinby carry. Doinby is a very intriguing player because he's so different from everyone else. He really finds every opportunity to roam. I think this is he's the best in the world at this for sure. Every prio he has, he gets a lot of value out of it. So he's a dangerous player to play against, but mechanically he's a bit twisted sometimes, which is cool. And Tian with the ush, punching the ward and then just ush. Like it's a fucking Tekken fight. Yes! 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 Oh man. Yes. Look at him. I can't believe it. Oh, it's a fucking slow-mo, that too. Oh man. Wow. Where's Peter Dunn? Wow. Okay. But Splice must be tilted off the planet here now, no? They still have some scaling on their side, but ooh. Ooh. Look at that Baron power play. Oh, it's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. Bottom wave is big. Kobe gets hit by a humongous W from LWX. Death cap is getting bought now by Doinby. Doinby the man. No Void Staff anytime soon by Kobe. This Zonya is disgusting. Fuck this Zonya. Low testosterone Zonya. Do not buy Zonya like this. Zonya does not do anything good against enemy champs. Well, I can also understand you don't trust the Lantern of your support or the Mikkel of your support because he kind of let you down a couple of times this game. So, understandable. But Splice had this. So many good things from Splice. Good early game, good Nash setup here in the end, and they got the pick on Crisp. They managed to stop Humanoid from running it down. Zerx had a great game, Kobe had a great game. Great Cage there at the Dragon fight that won them, the Drake. And then now they're in a position that is super awkward. Ryze is pushing top, he has ults on, he's monster fed, Void Staff is not coming anytime soon, the Banshee and Mercury giving a lot of value, he doesn't get one shot, he's a tank, 3k HP, 9k gold, fucking 9k gold, 9k gold power play. FPX just pushing every way, breaking every outer tower, Dragon is slain now, that's another fucking addition to the power play. Look at that gold swing, 6,000 gold. Splice making no attempts at finding any openings. They just kind of gave everything away. They took the time to recover. The thing is, you know that the enemy team is going to approach in a way where they're trying to get as much as possible. And here FPX went for a 1-3-1. Splice need to just give something up, attack on the other side, and then FPX approach is going to be much slower. But instead, Splice matched in numbers and then they lose on every side and they gave up everywhere. So this is poor play from Splice here. Maybe they could slow down the play of the advancement here of FPX a bit. I think Splice are kind of tilted from the initial situation and now they're trying to recover mentally, which is completely understandable as well. Void Staff is going to be a big item here for Kobe because Banshees and the AP, I mean the MR here on the enemy team is quite huge. That's why I really don't like the build. Zonya, if that was a Void Staff, legit fucking sell it. Sell it. I would sell it. I would be like, Kobe, I'm calling you right now. Sell your Zonyas, buy a Void Staff, do some damage, boy. Because he would reach, like right now he's like 1k AP. He will one-shot anyone on the map with the Void Staff. He doesn't need to even target Ryze. He can target the Kai'Sa, he can target the just target the Kai'Sa and you're good. Oh, that's a Banshee now from Kai'Sa. So this Void Staff not being there, holy shit. Holy Doinby is fucking doing 911 damage with his EQ. There's a joke in there somewhere that might give me a lot of hate, but just let's leave it at that. FPX doing some red buffs, Let's see now if they can continue to pressure the game, because there's still the problem still persists. They need to find flanks. Splice have a lot of good tools to poke and to engage with Glacial Augment and then get in there on the fights. If Kobe reaches Void Staff, he reaches a status that is quite dangerous. Right now, Ryze is on death cap. If FPX can finish the game in the next couple of minutes and Vega doesn't reach Void Staff, that's perfect for them. Nash spawns in 20. Splice approaching the mid wave. They have Glacial Augment. That's their way of engaging. They just need to play on distance. And, well, that's the Ryze ultimate. Oh, the Ryze ultimate, then panic! Humanoid! Inted. So let's take a look again here. Lee in position to the left. Ryze ult starts, and Humanoid gets flash E'd. Imagine his whole team manages to get away, but he is here. That is a fucking tragedy, man. I said earlier that Splice managed to stop Humanoid from inting, but that's a no-flow. That's a no-go. It is so rough to watch Splice play because Humanoid is so fucking inconsistent. The previous game he had a great LeBlanc game, but this was against the Gigabyte Marines that didn't know how to draft. So maybe we should take it with a grain of salt, but this is just poor. The Ryze ult is very well placed because this makes Splice panic. They use all their spells. Lantern flies and they get away. Good flay here to stop Tian from entering. And then here, if Tristana is alive, all of a sudden FPX don't have tools. But the fact that Tristana gets caught by Leona, he has W, he has Flash, he has all these tools, he has his own fucking legs. He could just fucking walk with his team. Why does everyone else on your team with lower move speed manage to get away, but you are here, standing your face first onto the wave, completely fucking cocky, and then you get fucking rooted? Are you expecting a lantern? No, your team is getting collapsed on, they need to back off. Here it's very important that the ward lands and Tian is in a very good position here. Very, very deadly position. Something we need to keep in mind. Tian managed to get his position without anything. And this makes it hard for Splice to pass here. So they're instantly passing the wall. Flash lands from Noshkeren. Noshkeren played this pretty fucking decent. The amount of flack I gave Noshkeren, I need to give him praise too when it counts. Here, very well played. He saves the situation. Tian gets knocked, but he has a lot of MR, keeps it alive. He's still alive. Okay, so this is a fight without Humanoid. So this is the no Void Staff. Veigar needs to carry. Vichichachi is not that far ahead in comparison to where everyone else is in the game. Right now, Doinbi and Veigar are just so much stronger. Gingon with the flash. Kobe gets fucking sliced. Is he gonna get diced? Doesn't matter. Kobe tries to flash. Del WX with the Banshee and the QSS is so fucking tanky. Imagine. John Lennon said, imagine. Yoko Ono told him, you need to stay at home. I'm not gonna let you be with the Beatles. But he told everyone else to imagine. Imagine a world where he had Void Staff. Imagine a world where Humanoid entered less. They would be the 100% win ratio European team together with G2 today. Instead, a lot of mistakes. We had a Nash situation as well that was very poor from Splice. FPX saved their tournament chances here in this game. I am still not completely sold by FPX because 2 games, honestly, their draft was Garbador. There is garbage and there is Garbador. Splice with a beautiful draft here, honestly. Veigar Cage is so fucking good against this team. Thresh was in a fantastic matchup. Good punish on that Nautilus first 3 ban to third pick Thresh into ban Alistar and then ban whatever the fuck they banned. I don't remember. Alistar and Rakan? Was that the ban? What was the ban? Let's take a look. We have it right here. Blitzcrank. So here, it's kind of troll that they don't pick Rakan because you should just pick Rakan here. They pick Leona instead. Pick Rakan and you have good chances. But if they read FPX's mind and they knew they would pick Leona, perfect. Because I don't know who thought that picking Leona into Thresh is fine. I think it's a reportable offense. But, you know, to each their own. Doinbi kept the game going while he was rotating into Renekton's side and trying to snowball Renekton, which gave nothing. He was also snowballing himself. He got kills, he got platings. Was very important for them to stay in the game. Then he caught Humanoid a couple of times. They had some good fights. Doinbi was always the one that stayed alive. He ended the game with what scoreline? 308. Beautiful. Against this team, it's hard not to die. But Phase Rush, definitely a big MVP in this game. Doinby, the user of Phase Rush, also my MVP. Very well done. LWX cut down the inting by a wide margin. Splice did a wonderful dive into bottom. Good pressure into bottom. They go Veigar ahead, but Veigar itemization is definitely a reportable offense in my book. Very reportable. Humanoid getting caught over and over. How can you get caught with Tristana? It's like the fucking one of the safest champs in the game. She has a jump. She has a fucking knockaway. She has the most busted jump in the game. Like, you can get fucking Blitzcrank hooked. They're like, no, I'm buffering my jumps. I'm gonna get away. And I don't know, man. Just disappointing. Disappointing, that's all. Splice probably also disappointed. I still... a lot of things have progressed here. Splice did a lot of things good. They chose the right targets. Zergs had some good pathings. I think it might be dangerous coming in later into the group that Chachi is over and over again getting GP. Without the GP, maybe they have a champion up top that is just going to get devoured by whatever's coming at him. GP is covering a lot of flaws of Splice. And in these games that look better for Splice, where GP gets isolated, it works because it's Gangplank. There's nothing else in this game that works as Gangplank. Nothing that scales and is always going to be useful. Maybe a Vladimir, but Vladimir Chachi is not going to work. He doesn't play any of the other champions that can potentially fill that role, fill that void that Splice have if GP is banned. So we have to pay attention to that. The teams in this group need to fucking remove GP. Remove GP. They really haven't done the research. They haven't done the research on the group stage, the play-ins. They didn't do the research on the regional qualifier. They didn't do any research on Splice. Because for me, Splice is an open fucking book by now. Xerxe and Splice, they want to play around bottom. They want to have a good bottom matchup. And Chachi has a very small champion pool and you can target him. So as long as bottom remains unexplosive for FPX, instead of a Leona, they have something else. Instead of a GP, let's say they have a more the Cho'Gath matchup or something like this, all of a sudden they can play into top side, they can give up on bottom and nothing's gonna go wrong. But instead, Splice had a wonderful early game, good team fight around Dragon, good catches with the Glacial Augment, wrong itemization, and that's it. I think that summarizes the game. We have 3 AM here, so we're gonna call it a day. We reviewed a couple of games. I'm gonna post them on Twitter now, but no one's gonna respond to them. If you're still watching, bless you and bless your face. We're gonna be catching some games tomorrow. We're gonna check out the G2 game. I don't know what games. I can't fucking think. Doesn't matter. We're gonna check out whatever games seem relevant. So we will see tomorrow. Probably RNG Fnatic. Ooh, that's gonna be fucking juicy, man. Juicy McGee is the name of that game. Sorry for... I feel like when I get tired and I review, I become more frantic. I become more obsessed with mistakes and I become a bit more aggressive than usual. So forgive me if you are expecting kindness and calmness. Because this was definitely not my energy coming into this one. Every time Splice is playing very late in the day, or not late in the day, I'm reviewing them late in the day. And that makes it harder for me to maintain a good energy. So with that being said, thank you so much. If you watched till the end, you know, there is... I always said I'm going to reveal some secrets here. So we had the spicy challenge. We're going to do it 25,000 subscribers. If people notice, then we're going to do it. If people don't, then I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to wait until I get 25,000 subscribers and I'm going to get called out for it. I just have a humble request. If you're watching and you liked it, post it on Reddit. Let's see what happens. Maybe you get some karma. If not, you don't need to. Subscribe if you want to, or don't. You know, everyone has a right to make their own choices. Like for example, I am abusing the shit out of Epic Skillshot LOL library, but I'm not subscribed because I don't even like. I'm gonna dislike the video. Fuck it. I'm gonna dislike the video because I am my own man. So do as you please. Like it, dislike it, comment, don't comment. Tell me I look thick in this t-shirt. Doesn't matter. Do as you wish. All the best to all of you. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Peace.